YouTube, and welcome to P2 Plays, the place where we play card games, video games, and miniature games. Well, the X Antibody era is nearly here. Releasing on July 29th, the 9th set of the Digimon TCG will be here. But anyways, again, this set introduces the X Antibody era, which of course this whole set is all about, all the X Antibody Digimon, but it also gives us the #1 rated black deck now, Alphamon. Anyways, we're here to break down the set, give my opinions of the set, each color, how I feel about that color, the mechanics, the cards, and all that. Do also make sure to check out the channel as well, as I will be doing a meta review of where I think each deck will place in the BT9 meta. And also, before we get into it, make sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell. So anyways, first up, let's talk about our babies. As I've said multiple times about the babies, they support the decks that come out of the set, but also can be generically used for future uses. But a lot of time, they'll really just support the archetypes in this set. But anyways, first up, we have Koroman. Your turn. When this Digimon has Agumon or Greymon in its name, it gets 1000 DP. This is generic. It's more Agumon and Greymon support did come out with this with the X Antibody line, but this is just generic for any deck that's running Agumon or Greymon. Next up, we have Pogumon. Your turn. Once per turn, when an effect adds a card to your hand, this Digimon gains plus 1000 DP for turn. There are quite a few blue cards that can add stuff to your hand. The blue hybrid engine does that really well with the Beowulfmon, so this can trigger off of that. So yes, this will get a little more support to use this baby in the set, but I believe this is generic as well, as there's plenty of blue cards that add stuff to your hand. We have Toyagumon X Antibody. Your turn. Once per turn, when a card is added to your security attack, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 1k DP for the turn. This is as generic as it gets for any yellow deck, yellow hybrid, anything that recovers, any way to add anything to your security stack. This baby will always be going off, so very generic for every yellow deck. Motimon. Your turn, while Digimon has Insectoid in this trait, it gets 1000 DP. We have Goromon. While Digimon has blocker, gains 1000 DP. Again, black is the best known color for blockers. You won't be using this in the Alphamon build, but if you're running a heavy black build that's using a lot of blockers, not a bad. Again, very generic baby, since a lot of black Digimon do have blocker, especially if you want to run a blocker heavy deck. Finally, we have Pogumon. When attacking by trashing one card in your hand, this Digimon gets plus 1000 DP. This strongly helps all purple decks because, again, trashing cards gives a bunch of other purple Digimon their effects, so this just facilitates all those Digimon triggering those when trashing effects, or when something is trashed or something is sent into your trash, all those effects, which is nice. And then cards that specifically can be even trashed for your hand, like Nidhoggmon, which will gain a memory if trashed from your hand. So overall, really good, just generic. So overall, every one of these babies is extremely generic. Koromon's strictly to the Greymon at Agumon Greymon line, but it's still generic enough that it can be run in any style deck that's running that. But all the others are generic. Motimon attached to Insectoid, but if you're playing specifically Insectoid deck or the Grand Kuwagamon OTK deck, this is very strong. But the blue, yellow, the black is specific to blockers, but black has almost all been blockers, and then the purple all generic. So good, some good babies overall. So anyways, let's run into the red line. Now, of course, we have Mini Dekachimon. It's just a generic 3k rookie 2 cost. Good for any red Rookie Rush style decks that if you're a Rookie Rush player and you still want to play Rookie Rush, not a bad card. Now we have Agumon X Antibody. So all the X Antibodies will have an ability like up here, Digivolve 0 from Agumon, meaning that it can go over the specific Digimon, any Agumon, for 0 cost, mainly turning it from non-X Antibody to X Antibody. You'll see that quite a lot for almost all of a good chunk of X Antibodies. They can Digivolve over themselves for a different cost. It allows you to cycle really quick into your deck. Not mentioning they also get abilities as well. For instance, on play and when Digivolving, reveal 3 cards in the top of your deck, add 1 X Antibody and 1 card with Greymon or Omnimon in its name to your hand. Place remaining cards at the bottom of your deck in any order. This is really good to combo with the, I believe it's the BT5 Agumon, that when on play you can get a Greymon and Omnimon to your hand. Now, if you then Digivolve over 0 over that Agumon, then you get the when Digivolving effect here, so then you can look for X Antibody, Greymon, or Omnimon. So quickly digging through your deck and getting that draw as well. So just a thing to think about with the X Antibodies here, how you can combo them with many of the cards we already have that have on-play skills, and then Digivolving up from those on-play skills. We have Gulemon X Antibody. digivolves from Gulemon. When digivolving, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 3k DP or less. And then, by the way, that's Divermon X Antibody right there. Inheritable, add 1000 to the maximum DP you can choose with the DP based deletion effect. That is very similar to, we've seen the Galamon line from EX Collection 2 is all about increasing the ability to delete your opponent's Digimon by certain types of effects. This just adds now another 1000 to that maximum DP you can choose. So really nice to go over. Like, I believe the Gulemon from EX Collection 2 didn't have an effect, and then digivolving over 0 for that Gulemon, and then going up to the Greymon. So again, you can go multiple lines here because again, it's saying that you can digivolve for free over a Gulemon to turn into an X. And then you could turn that Gulemon into a Greymon and the Greymon to Greymon X if you want to continue up the line through using the X line. It doesn't specify that you can only digivolve up into another X antibody. You can digivolve into a level 4 and then level 4 become an X antibody. So you could do that perfectly fine. Again, as long as you're chaining up the line as per normal. Now we have Atamadekachamon. So basically the evolution of mini Dekachamon. We have Atamadekachamon. Not bad. It's a 5 cost hard play, 2 cost to evolve, 7k DP level 4. That's not actually bad. That's not actually bad for if you just need to slap this down. That's not a bad cost, especially if you're sitting at 3 from a memory tamer and your opponent doesn't have a memory tamer. That puts him at 2, so that's not bad. Sure, you want a memory choke, but I mean, that's not bad. If you're sitting already at 3, you can just play this out and still memory choke your opponent somewhat, keeping them at 2. So just a vanilla. We got Greymon X Antibody. Your turn, add 1000 to the maximum DP you can choose with the DP based Geo Evolution effects. You'll see, I think with the War Greymon X, that I think will add on to that as well, as does Galamon X, because again, they're going down the line of following up what we had from EX Collection 2, Gulemon, Greymon, War Greymon, Galamon, and then of course Galamon Crimson. So really nice to continue with that line if you're still really wanting to play some good old Galamon tribal. We got Greymon X Antibody. Again, just forgot to say it. You can digivolve this for free over any Greymon, and then you can digivolve this over free over any Greymon. So all turns, in effect, would delete this Digimon with Greymon or Omegamon, which is Omnimon, in its name, or return it to its owner's hand or deck. You may prevent it from leaving play by discarding 2 cards with the same level in this card's Digievolution card. So what that is basically saying is that if for anything is going to delete or spin back a Greymon or Omnimon, you could take 2 cards with the same level, move them from the Digimon, and then basically protect that Greymon and Omnimon. So you could take both of these, the Greymon and then Greymon X Antibody, because they're both 4s, or any 2 5s. So basically what this is saying is, because you're going to build up your board with going normal, then digivolving over with an X Antibody, going back to the normal, digivolving that over with an X Antibody, and slowly this line, you're going to have 2 5s, 2 4s, 2 3s already in your subsequent Digievolution sources. So it's really neat. It stops a lot of destruction and a lot of effects that like to spin cards back. Now again, blue still can rip sources from cards, so I mean, it pretty much can still happen, but if you're building up on two line for each 3, 4, 5, then blue really can't help, because blue can only really remove about 2 sources usually. There are some that can remove 3. Now we have Omnishoutmon X Antibody. So anyways, they can digivolve over an Omnishoutmon for 0, which I really like. A lot of these X antibodies can digivolve over a Digimon for a very low cost. It has Blitz, which is nice. The whole Shoutmon line pretty much had Blitz. Your turn, while Digimon has Omnishoutmon or X Antibody in the Digievolution card, this Digimon can also attack your opponent's unspent Digimon. So that's really easy to do. If you have Omnishoutmon already out, you digivolve for free over to Omnishoutmon X Antibody, you're going to have that effect because you have Omnishoutmon as one of your sources. And then, of course, if there's even X Antibody under that, like any X Antibody, like Greymon or Greymon or any of the other red X Antibodies under him, then you pretty much get this effect. So really nice. Again, red being that aggressive style deck strategy, showing it here, being that it's able to attack unspent Digimon, controlling that board state on your opponent's field. Not much in controlling the board state for 0 cost, and cycling 1 more card out of your deck. Well, now we have War Greymon X Antibody. So here we go. Here's another level 5 that pretty much just digivolves for free. So if you have the 3 memory to digivolve up to a normal War Greymon, and then you can digivolve for free into a War Greymon X Antibody. So it can digivolve over 0 for over a War Greymon. So when digivolving, until the next time your opponent's turn, 2 of your opponent's Digimon gain on deletion, lose 1 memory. That's really cool, especially if you can swing in and destroy said Digimon. So that means you can gain back a memory. Then if Digimon has War Grammon body and Digi-Evolution cards, choose any number of your opponent's Digimon whose total DP adds up to 6k or less, and then delete them. So again, that gets buffed up by the Greymon X Antibody and the Greymon X Antibody going all the way up to 8k. And then of course, if you have also the EX Collection, Greymon and War Greymon, that can get even more buff. So a great power line here, just extending out the Gulemon tribal that we got from EX Collection 2 and just pumping it up even more to be even stronger. I quite enjoy it. That's actually pretty cool. Now we have Metal Greymon X Antibody. Again, can Digivolve for free over a Metal Greymon. When Digivolving, this Digimon gains security attack +1. That's really nice until the end of your opponent's turn. Really strong. Then if Metal Greymon or X Antibody is in its Digi-Evolution card sources, Digimon gets plus 3k DP until the end of your opponent's turn. That's really nice. That's until the end of your opponent's turn, which makes this basically an 11k Digimon on your opponent's turn if it's resting, also already swinging for 2 check. And it can Digivolve over a Metal Greymon for free. Really, really strong. I really love all of these abilities to just play for free to Digivolve over anything with Metal Greymon. Anyways, now we have War Greymon X Antibody. So now the level 6 is at least costing you 1 to go over a War Greymon. So that's not bad. So free, it looks like free up to level 6. And once you have level 6, you at least have to pay 1 to do the X Antibody Digi-Evolution ability, which is to Digivolve over any War Greymon. All turns, when this card is removed from your opponent's security attack, when a card is removed from your opponent's security stack, gain 1 memory. That is very strong. By the way, that is not a once per turn effect, where some say once per turn, all turns, when something is removed, gain 1 memory. No, this is all turns, if something gets removed from your opponent's security stack, gain a memory. So that's very strong. Now it's going to check the second a card is removed, it will gain that memory. So multiple security checks I do not think will trigger to gain multiple memory, but still very strong the fact that this card right here basically can gain you memory by just removing cards from your opponent's security stack at any point in time. So very good card to just kind of sit there on your opponent and then tell them, okay, if you're going to remove cards from your security stack, I'm going to gain a memory from it, which can harm them, especially if you start memory choking them. So very good effect. End of attack once per turn. If this Digimon has War Greymon or X Antibody, Digi-Evolution Swords, delete one of your opponent's Digimon DP less than or equal to this Digimon's DP. So that's really nice. Again, it hits a lot of megas who are 12k. And again, if you get that buff, by the way, because again, Digimon recognize anything that happens to them over in the lower levels. So you could go multiple Metal Greymons, getting that security attack, and then you go over War, he gains that security attack as well because he recognizes everything that's under him. Much like Digimon recognize all status conditions, anything like that when they Digivolve. Now Jogress or DNA Digi-Evolution does remove all of that because it won't recognize it because it's a new Digimon, but still pretty neat effect here, especially if you can buff up yourself with a metal and then go up into a war, and then basically you're still getting that 3k, so you're going to go up to 15k. So if that triggers exactly how I think it's going to trigger, and I believe it's so, it will, that's real nice. That's deleting a 15k or less DP Digimon. Really strong. We got Gulemon X Antibody. You can Digivolve over 1 for over any Gulemon. When Digivolving, delete one of your opponent's Digimon, the lowest DP. If you do not delete Digimon with this effect, unsuspend this Digimon. That's really nice. So you could, again, if it's going by name and not Gulemon, not over just Gulemon, where it can go over anything that has the Gulemon name in it, you could go Digivolve, over for 1 over a Gulemon, and then Digivolve over this Gulemon X Antibody for Gulemon X Antibody again. If your opponent doesn't have a Digimon delete, you just restand. There you go. Swing again. Your turn once per turn. When your opponent's Digimon is deleted, if this Digimon has Gulemon or X Antibody in its Digi-Evolution card, trash top card of your opponent's security stack. Really strong to combo with Gulemon from the original Special Booster 1 Gulemon. Then we have this Gulemon, and I forget what the X Collection 2 Gulemon does. I think he can remove security too. But very strong comboing all around, where Galemon's all about removing your opponent's security once you hit a certain point. You could easily combo that with the metal, with the War Greymon X Antibody, and that'd be pretty cool. So Galemon's pretty cool. And then finally, we have a dual color here, Dino Rexman. When Digivolving for each of your opponent's Tamers, then one of your opponent's Digimon gain 1 memory for each of your opponent's Tamers. So it goes off your opponent's Tamers. Interesting. So it's doing it. It's a green Digimon that doesn't look at your Tamers. It's a green Digimon that looks at your opponent's Tamers. So basically looking at all the hybrid era deck. For each of your opponent's Tamers, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, gain 1 memory. The problem is if your opponent has all his Digimon suspended, like Shivamon, then that effect's not going to go off because you have to target a unsuspended Digimon. Do it all turns once per turn. When your opponent Digimon Digimon with 6k DP or less is suspended, you may delete that Digimon. That's okay. I mean, I don't know. Like, sure, that means if they swing, then this effect will trigger, meaning that it will die, but most time they'll just Digivolve it up into 6k. 6k is rookie and champion, so they'll just Digivolve it up into an ultimate and swing. Sure, there's some ultimates that are 6k, but they're very, very rare. Most ultimates are 7 to 8. So this can come up a few times. It does mean you get one protection from a Digimon deleted, but most people aren't gonna, throw their Digimon out for nothing, because again, if it becomes suspended, like goes for attack, then this triggers first for the check of the security, so that will delete it. The Digimon no longer even exists, so it was just a waste of a Digimon swinging at security for nothing. As this feels like very niche. I like the fact that it suspends for how many of your opponent's Tamers it has, so if your opponent has a bunch of Tamers or playing hybrid, then that's really nice. But again, the secondary effect is it's a once per turn, all turns, but still, your opponent's going to Digivolve up and not really take the risk of losing the Digimon to this guy's effect for swinging at security. So that's red. Red is really good. I like a lot of the aggression. I like a lot of the stuff that we got out of. Now we're moving on to blue with Grademon. He's a vanilla rookie. That's all I'm going to say. So we have Gabumon X Antibody. Digivolves for free over any Gabumon. On play, when Digivolving, reveal 3 cards. So basically, this does the exact same thing as the Agumon did. Again, you can do the same thing here with the Gabumon that can search out on the top 3 for Garurumon or Omnimon. Play that for 3 and then Digivolve for 0 with this Gabumon to then look again at either an X Antibody or Garurumon and then a card with Garurumon or Omnimon, which doesn't hurt because if you're going to look for a Garurumon, you're probably going to grab the Metal Garurumon X Antibody with the X Antibody and then probably an Omnimon. This is Jellymon. Your turn once per turn. When you play a blue Tamer, draw a card. Really strong. I like that. Just the ability to draw a card when you play out a Tamer. Your turn once per turn. When an effect adds a card to your hand, return one of your opponent's level 3 Digimon to its owner's hand. Not going to happen a lot unless you're playing Rookie Rush. By the way, that is also by drawing. It does not state it's when an effect adds a card to your hand, return one of your opponent's level 3 Digimon to its owner's hand. It doesn't matter how you're adding a card to your hand, whether by drawing or whether by a card effect, you just get to trigger this effect. We have Medramon. Actually, not a bad level 4 to place. If you need a really hard play level 4, this is not bad. That is a 3 cost for a level 4. I'll take that. It's not very strong level 4, but for 3 costs to slap down a level 4, I'll take that. But anyways, we have Gamamon. Digivolve from 2 for a Gamamon, and Digimon can't be blocked. Unless your opponent's playing a heavy amount of blockers, doesn't make any real sense. But again, you can Digivolve for 2 over a level 3. Need not to get blocked, but unless you're literally playing a deck that's heavy on blockers, never really going to come up much. Garurumon X Antibody can Digivolve over for free over a Garurumon. All turns with a Digimon with Garurumon or Omnimon in its name would be deleted by battle. You may trash 2 cards at the same level in the Digimon's Digi Evolution cards to prevent this deletion. So that's very interesting. So Garurumon X Antibody is about deletion. No, deleted by battle. So it's only on deleted by battle. Where Greymon X Antibody is about if it's deleted by an effect would delete the Digimon or it's spawned back, you can trigger the effect to protect it. So Greymon is on deletion, on effect deletion and spin back, and Garurumon is on battle. I wish the Garurumon had the same effect as the Greymon. I feel like more or less deletion effects and spin back effects are more prominent than people swinging at this Digimon. But again, very possible thanks to going from 2 3s to 2 4s to 2 5s again, the normal and then the X. Again, cycling your deck and quickly getting those cards you need. We got Tesla Jellymon. End of attack. Once per turn, you may trash 2 cards in your hands to unsuspend this Digimon. Okay, so it is an end of attack. It gets to restand. Funny enough, you could just hard play this out in purple and then just spin 2 cards out of your trigger this effect to then trash 2 cards in your hand, triggering a lot of purple effects to then unsuspend and swing another time. A little gimmick I think you should probably maybe tech in purple, but again, be cautious. It is a 5 cost, but purple has enough ways to gain memory, but it's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea to stick in purple. I think that has the most value out of purple than blue. We got Rademon. It's just got Rush. All right, so it can attack with the turn and comes into play. So on Digivolve or if on hard play as well. Divermon, another level 5. It's only 2 cost. That's really nice. 8k is not bad either. That's just a vanilla ultimate that basically Digivolve over a champion for 2. Very strong. Where Garurumon X Antibody can Digivolve over a Where Garurumon for free. When Digivolving, unsuspend this Digimon. Then if this Digimon has Where Garurumon or X Antibody in its Digi Evolution cards, return one of your opponent's level 4 low Digimons to their hand. Very gimmicky, much like Jellymon. A lot of your opponents are going to be sitting on level 4. Sure. If they're still playing armors, you go right ahead. Even if they're playing blockers and just keeping blockers, that helps get rid of blockers. But again, blockers are kind of the dependent on the format if a deck is going to throw them in it. If a format feels like decks need to play blockers, they'll play blockers, so this becomes more relevant. If the format's not really wrapping up into a blocker for heavy format, then it's always not going to be as relevant. Now, yes, spinning back some level 3s that your opponent hard plays, sure, are nice. And some level 4s they've had to hard play, are nice. A lot of times, I don't think you're really going to get this effect off, but still, it's a little better than level 3s. At least there's a lot more level 4s to spin back, in my opinion, than there are level 3s to spin back. And then we have Toyagumon, and main, if you have a Digimon with Justimon or Rademon in its name, you may pay 1 memory to place this card, the bottom Digievolution card of one of those Digimon. So really strong, a way to support the Justimon deck out of EX Collection 2. Alright, so I did go look around for this Rademon. He actually comes out in this set. Kind of makes sense. I haven't heard of that name before yet in the game. But really cool for Justimon and Rademon. So for 1 memory, you can basically just throw this under one of your one of those 2 Digimon. When Digivolving, you may trash one card with Machine or Cyborg in its trade from your hand to return one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon to the bottom of its owner's deck. I do like that ability to put it on the bottom of your deck. Again, getting rid of blockers or prominent level 4s you don't want to see anymore. But again, it's kind of niche. When attacking, return one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon to its owner's hand. That's his inheritable. I wish it was level 5. For 1 memory to throw this under a dude, can't it be level 5? Oh well. I mean, maybe Justimon can use him, or this when we go down to find this Rademon to see how exactly he works with it, but as of right now, I'm not impressed. I do like the ability to pay 1 memory to stick him as a source. That is actually pretty nice. Metal Paranimon. When attacking, may play a Digimon card with Paranimon in its name from the Digimon's Evolution cards without paying its memory cost. Really good. The Metal Garurumon from Special Booster 1 did the exact same thing, but it was level 4 or lower. This just now targets Paranimons, which then trigger the Paranimon effect to rush. Now we have Metal Greymon X Antibody. Can Digivolve over a Metal Garurumon for 1. When Digivolving, unsuspend this Digimon. So it's nice to swing with the Garurumon and then Digivolve so you can unsuspend. The Digimon gains blocker. That's still very nice. I mean, a level 6 blocker at 12k is not bad. Till your end of your opponent's turn, your turn once per turn, when this Digimon becomes unsuspended, if this Digimon has Metal Garurumon or X Antibody in its Digievolution cards, return all your opponent's Digimon at the lowest level to its owner's hand. Very strong effect, because especially if their lowest level is only like a level 6, that gets spun back to their hand and everything gets trashed with it. Very strong. I think you can combo this, probably put it in the Metal Garurumon and Shikuamon deck that's been playing around in BT8, and just throw this as another extender over the Metal Garurumon. Would not be a bad option, especially because that Metal Garurumon could swing a few times here, play a few stuff, then you Digivolve for 1 over that, restanding it, gaining a blocker, and then also returning your opponent's lowest level Digimon and swinging for another check as well. To my opinion, blue really is only Metal Garurumon. That's literally it. Jellymon's pretty neat. Teslamon, I feel not as much of a blue staple as it might become like a random card to slot into purple so that you could trigger when trashing effects in purple, especially from the hand. But anyways, blue didn't really have all that many cards, and the only really level 6 I'm really excited about is Metal Garurumon. But yeah, blue's okay. I do still like that they did get a level 5 that Digivolves for 2, and then this lobster looking creature. Now we move on to yellow. Toyagumon. It's a vanilla rookie. That's all we're going to say. Pillowmon. All players can't play Digimon by effects. So that's really neat. I believe this is kind of hurting. This would hurt purple because a lot of them have to play Digimon by effects, especially if they're playing them out of the trash. Like, you could play this against Starmon to stop Starmon from being able to get, when it's played down, to get Nailbone, and Nailbone to trigger the play Digimon. So you couldn't play that by effect because that's an effect triggering to play those Digimon. Cards like this are only really viable if the format wraps to where they're really needed. So if the format is more Starmon or Digimon being played by effects, then yes, playing this in a yellow deck, or in heck just swapping it into any deck, just to slap it down so you can stop those effects would be nice. Again, if Digimon had side decks, I'd highly recommend this as a side deck card. But since Digimon still won't tell us they will give us side decks, unless the format wrapping up to where a lot of the top decks or top table decks are going to be playing Digimon with effects, then yes, this makes sense to start playing as a tech choice to deal with those decks. Again, reason why we need side decks in Digimon. A lot of cards are well worth being only side deck cards for matchups that you know you'll have. Now we have Salamon X Antibody. Can Digivolve for free over a Salamon. When Digivolve, look at the top card of your security stack. You may add it to your hand if you do recover 1. That's actually very good. That's basically just TK without the restriction of yellow, where TK stated that you look at your security, you must grab a yellow Digimon to recover. No, this just says grab anything I want out of my security, I'll just recover one. So that's actually really nice. And that is that's only on when Digivolving. So that is one aspect you have to be cautious of this. The only way to get this effect is Digivolving over a Salamon. Now we have a couple Salamons that can trigger, like the Massimon Structure Deck Salamon is basically the ability to Jogress at the end of your turn. So you could just Digivolve over that to have that Jogressing ability next if you wanted to look at your security attack and then grab any card from it. So keep that in mind. It is when Digivolving, not on play. But still, I like that. Just be able to grab any card you want. And not required on, is a yellow to recover, this to recover, or that. Starmon, he's 4-cost 6k is not bad for hard casting a level 4, but just a vanilla Gatomon X Antibody. I do like the X Antibody line for Gatomon. She looks really it. When Digivolving, you can Digivolve over free for a Gulemon or Gatomon. When attacking, if you have 3 or more security cards, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 2k DP. Not bad. Again, being able to spin those DP debuffs around is really nice. Again, yellow has that greatest strength. Finally, we are getting the last 2 armors. This is TK and Kari when Gatomon and Patamon could only Digivolve into their armors, being Pegasusmon and Nefitimon. But yes, these are the last 2 official armors from Adventure 2. Digivolve for 0 if name contains Gatomon. Actually, that's really nice. That's actually really cool. It's a free armor evolution with armor purge too. That's really strong. When attacking, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 2k DP for the turn. Really nice to combo with this Gatomon right here. Again, as long as you're 3 or more security. So an interesting line you could take is using the Salamon to gain a card, Digivolve up into Gatomon, then you can go free to Nefitimon and then swing. Again, Nefitimon doesn't really care if it dies in security because it'll just armor purge. But really nice to see that an armor actually doesn't cost anything. Pegasusmon, it's got armor purge. And again, 2 from any Patamon. Again, these 2, this one's actually yellow-blue. That's very interesting. When Digivolving, one opponent's Digimon gains security attack -1 until the end of your opponent's next turn. Very strong. That's all I'm going to say about it. Giving minus security attacks in this game is very strong. Either way. Again, your opponent, all Digimon have a natural security attack of 1, so minusing 1 makes it 0, so all I can really do is punch at your Digimon that is suspended, and that's pretty much about it, unless they can find a way to give a security. Anyways, we have Dark Super Starmon, a vanilla. That's all I'm gonna say. Nothing much to talk about that. Angiwomon X Antibody. That's actually really cool art for Angiwomon X Antibody. Digivolve 0 from Angiwomon. Again, we've seen it before for all X Antibodies. When Digivolving until the end of your opponent's turn, when your opponent's Digimon gains security attack -1. Then if this Digimon has Angiwomon X Antibody in Digievolution cards and you have 5 or fewer security cards, recover +1. So I like that only triggers if you have 5 or fewer, basically saying that you can't put this into a deck and gain the extra security attack if you're playing a deck that heavily is giving you a lot of security, like Yellow Hybrid or decks like that. But a deck that's just naturally recurring security to protect itself, it's pretty neat. So anyways, I do like this. We do have the Angiwomon that is on play, give a minus security attack. We have the Angiwomon that's on Digivolve, give minus security attack. Now we have this Angiwomon on Digivolve, give -1 security attack. So you could do the on play, then Digivolve for free to give 2 couple things minus security attack, or when Digivolving. The one that's when Digivolving is if you're at 3 or fewer security cards, you can play a level 3 out of your hand for free, and then give that another Digimon -1 security attack until the end of your opponent's turn. So really strong, and then again, I do like that extra security attack as well. Really neat, really. Rise Greymon X Antibody. This one's interesting. This is the first level 5 we've seen where it's not free over the corresponding level 5. So you have to do 1 over Rise Greymon. When Digivolving, you may play 1 red or yellow Tamer card from your hand without paying its memory cost. That's very common. We've seen that with the yellow Rise Greymon, and then the red Rise Greymon do the same thing. The yellow's on play, the red Rise is Digiburst 2, but it's really nice to play a red or yellow Tamer card. You'll see why this can combo really interestingly, why I think this card could go into a yellow hybrid as another level 5 option. You'll be paying it for the 4 cost, by the way. Then if this Digimon has Rise Greymon X Antibody in its Digievolution cards, one of your opponent's Digimon gets -2k DP for each of your red or yellow Tamers in your turn. That's really nice. And then your turn Digimon gets +1k DP for each Tamer you haven't played. Very strong. Well, anyways, I like the ability to play another red and yellow Tamer. Again, Yellow Hybrid, I think, needs another level 5, at least in my opinion. When I was playing Yellow Hybrid, I felt I needed more level 5s than just Jet Sylphie. So this is another level 5 you could use. You could also use the Red Rise. Yeah, that one could Digivolve with Yellow, Digiburst 2. And then, or you could do the Yellow Rise Greymon for 3 and then Digivolve. So it's your opinion. If you did the Yellow Rise, you could do Yellow Rise and then a few of these mixed, the few Rise Greymon X Antibody as well to help out. And of course, continue to play more Tamers out basically for free. And again, a 1 cost to play a red or yellow Tamer card for free is not bad. Then we have Raijinmon. I think it's Raijimon. I don't know. And man, if you have a Digimon with Justimon or Rademon in its name, you put this card at the bottom of one of those Digimon's Digievolution sources by paying 1 cost. Again, we've seen it. We saw it with Suijimon. Do not tell me this is like making fun of the Gate Guardian, is it? When Digivolving, by trashing 1 card with Machine or Cyborg in its trait from your hand, one opponent's Digimon gets -4k DP for the turn. That's not bad. I kind of actually like that. Again, that's coming from the yellow side. When taking one of your opponent's Digimon gets -4k DP for the turn. I do quite enjoy that more than Suijimon effect. So Raijimon is a little better than Suijimon in my opinion because of its inheritable skill. Now we have Medramon X Antibody. Digivolve for 1 over a Medramon. When Digivolving, if this Digimon has Medramon or X Antibody and Digievolution cards, for each card in your security stack, all your opponent's Digimon and security Digimon get -1k DP for the turn. That's very strong. That is very, very strong and very interesting because this basically removes a lot of that fear of hitting, high-level Digimon in your opponent's security. In an attack once per turn, you may add top card of your security stack to your hand to unspin this Digimon. I think that's really strong too. Next up, we have Omnimon X Antibody, proving that Armor Rush is not done after BT8. So, Digivolve for 4 from a Omnimon. Opponent's turn, when your opponent's Digimon attacks, if this Digimon has X Antibody or a card with Armor Form and its trait, any Armor Form, in its Digievolution cards, you may change the attack target to this card. Really neat. All turns, with Digimon would be deleted, you may place the top card of your Digimon, top card of this Digimon at the top of your security stack face down to prevent that deletion. So I wonder how that's actually going to be translated to. This Digimon would be deleted, you may place the top card of this Digimon at the top of your security stack face down to prevent the deletion. I'm wondering if it's the top card of his Digievolution source or him. If it's him, it's just protecting you to go back to Omnimon, which will be a blocker, and then he just goes on top of your security to stop that Omnimon from being deleted. Again, when this Digimon would delete, it doesn't matter by effect or by battle, and then it just protects it. So basically negates. If it's a battle, it negates the battle. If it's by effect, then it just stops the effect from deleting. So it'd be very interesting. I bet what it's doing in stating is that it's just going to take the Omnimon X Antibody, slap it on top of your security stack, and it protects the Omnimon under it, which is really neat. I think that's really cool, especially not mentioning that then that's 11k extra security card your opponent now is going to have to tear through. Yellow didn't get a lot in it. I think really it just gives a different outlook to Armor Purge. That's really about it. Yellow Hybrid's not really going to take any of these cards. It might take this Rise Greymon X Antibody if people like the Rise Greymon and want to use this Rise Greymon after Digivolving for 3 into the yellow Rise Greymon, or even heck, even the red Rise Greymon to, continue to put out more Tamers so you can do more Yellow Hybrid shenanigans. I think really that's the only really 2 cards I see really coming out of yellow is Rise Greymon X Antibody and Omnimon X Antibody. Anyways, let's move to green. We have Electmon. It's just a vanilla rookie. Now we have Koroman X Antibody can Digivolve for free over a Koroman. On play, when Digivolving, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Add 1 Digimon card with Sectoid or Machine in its traits, and 1 X Antibody option card among them to your hand. Place remaining cards at the bottom of your deck in any order. Pretty neat card, being able to grab an option card and then a Sectoid or Machine. So if you wanted to play this, it could probably be well played in the Grandest Toyagumon deck. That's probably where it's going to go. We got Homumon. All players can't play Digimon by effects. Again, just dependent on the format. Ninjamon, 4 cost, level 4, 6k is not bad for vanilla. Toyagumon X Antibody. Your turn, again, it can Digivolve for free over a Toyagumon. Your turn, when this Digimon has Insectoid in its trait, Digimon gains piercing, which is really nice. Green's all about piercing and stuff like that. And this is very strong as well with the Grandest Toyagumon. So just keep that in mind if you want to use the Grandest Toyagumon as a piercer. Now we have Leomon X Antibody. All turns, when this Digimon will be deleted by battle, you may play 1 Leomon from its Digievolution cards without paying its memory cost. And by the way, it's free over any Leomon. So this one, this is a aspect of Leomon's evolution line. It's like a separation of Leomon's evolution lines because he's treated as Leomon. You can Digivolve it for free over a Pengiamon. All turns, he is treated like he is treated as Leomon. All turns, when this Digimon will be deleted by battle, you may play one Leomon from this Digimon's Evolution source without paying his memory cost. Alright, next on we have Okawamon X Antibody. You can Digivolve earn Okawamon for free. When Digivolving, if this Digimon has Okawamon or X Antibody in its Evolution card, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. Then if this Digimon is attacking, you may switch the target of one attack to one of your opponent's suspended Digimon. I get where that is coming from, because then you could use the Koroman X Antibody inheritable. Your return with Digimon would Digivolve into a Digimon when Sector in its trait, reduce the cost of Digi-Evolution by 1. Now that's very strong right there. Basically turn the Grand Koroman from a 3 cost to a 2 cost. Very strong. Then we have Zamailamon. Green's getting yet another 2 cost to Digivolve for over level 4 for level 5. That's about it. I'm gonna say it's a vanilla. Then we have Legionmon. Okay, so and again, if you have either Justimon or Rademon, you can just pay 1 memory to put it as the bottom source of that Digimon. When Digivolving, by trash 1 card with Machine or Cyber in its trait from your hand, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. Again, it's doing the green side. When attacking, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon with DP 5k or less. That Digimon can't be unspent during opponent's next unsuspend phase. So funny enough, that actually is a little better than you think. By combining this effect with Reijumon, finding that to reduce a Digimon by 4k, you have a better chance of hitting Digimon with this effect. And if you can continue reduction abilities of reducing DP, then you can hit some stuff with that. If you can get a Mega down to 5k or less, triggering with this effect, that's not bad, because then you'll have that Mega cannot then unsuspend. So I think this is a little stronger. Again, I like the Reijinmon and Fujimon. Then I like Suijinmon. Grandis Kowagamon. This is a deck I'm very much excited to play for in the BT9 meta. Digivolve for 1 over a Grand Kowagamon. When Digivolving, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. Then if this Digimon is attacking, you may switch the target of the attack to one of your opponent's suspended Digimon. Funny enough, just do that. Again, play the Koroman X Antibody as a source. Then when this guy swings, you get the piercing, and you can pierce through it and then go check the security. So cleaning up your opponent's board and still checking security. Your turn, this Digimon gets plus 4k DP. End the attack once per turn. A Digimon has Grand Koroman or X Antibody in Digi Evolution cards. Spend one of your opponent's Digimon, unspend this Digimon. Again, being able to attack that suspended Digimon. Because again, this is when Digimon spend one of your opponent's Digimon. Then if this Digimon is attacking, so you swing at the security, then you redirect the attack at your opponent's Digimon. I know Tigermon. It can Digivolve for 1 over a Saber Leomon. When attacking, this Digimon has a card with Leomon in its name or X Antibody in its evolution card. Suspend one of your opponent's Digimon or Tamer. The Tamer suspension I like as well. I think a lot of Tamers are very dangerous if they're unsuspended. Your turn, once per turn, when an opponent's Digimon or Tamer becomes suspended, you may unsuspend this Digimon. That's very strong. So if you have multiple ways to swing like multiple of these Dino Tigermons, then you can trigger 1 to unsuspend. Neat nonetheless. Green overall is just Grandest Kowagamon. That's all green. This set finally does bring black into being tier 1 competitor because of the man right there. And his secret rare that we'll read later on. We got Bearmon, just a 2 cost vanilla rookie. Doromon, by trashing 1 card with X Antibody in its trait in your hand, draw 2 cards. Very, very strong. Tapirmon, all turns, if Digimon has 2 or more colors, it gets 1k DP. Grizzlymon, a 1 cost over a level 3. That's very strong there. Really nice. Monochromon, he is a blocker. Again, the strength of black has always been is the mass amount of blockers it has. And when attacking, lose 3 memory. Reptorjamon, end of attack. If this Digimon has Alphamon in its name, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with a play cost of 5 or less. That's okay. The aspect though is this is not going to go into the Alphamon deck. The Alphamon deck is going to use a lot of the Dex line to support the Alphamon. It's not really, I don't think ever really going to play Raptormon. And plus the play cost of 5 or less doesn't hit a lot of stuff. It's rookies and some amount of level 4s as we've seen. Loader Liomon, again, another 2 costs over 4 for level 5. That's not bad. I'll say that. It's just a vanilla. Then we have Grademon. With Digivolving, real top 3 cards your deck. Add 1 card with Alphamon in its name among them to your hand, and place 1 card with X Antibody in its trait among them on the Digimon as its bottom Digi-Evolution card, trash remaining card. In the attack, if Digimon has Alphamon in its name, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with a play cost of 5 or less. So again, we see a couple cards here that are helping Alphamon, but aren't really going to be used for the Alphamon deck. Either way, I do like them, especially the ability to slot an X Antibody under one of your sources. But for people who don't want to play how Japan has, these are not bad alternatives to play, especially to get Alphamon into your hand and slot X Antibodies under your guys. We got Meigdramon. When Digivolve, delete one of your opponent's Digimon or Tamer with a play cost of 3 or less. I like that. A lot of good Tamers are 3. cost. Now, but the better Tamers are 4. Like almost all the memory Tamers are 4 cost Tamers. So this won't hit those. But there are some very good Tamers that are still 3 cost. So not a bad effect. When attacking, when this Digimon has Machine or Dragonkin in its trait, delete one of your opponent's Digimon or Tamer with a play cost of 3 or less. I believe like all the hybrid Digimon Tamers are all 3 cost. So this is another good card for Machinedramon, Chaosdramon deck. So that's about it. I do think this is kind of like niche to the Tamer cost because a lot of Tamers are 4 cost, at least the really good Tamers. But this does hit all the hybrid Tamers because those are all 3 cost. The man himself, Alphamon. When Digivolving, place 1 card with X Antibody in its trait from your trash to the bottom of this Digimon's evolution cards. Very strong effect. Your turn, and also triggers a lot of X Antibody card effects as well. Your turn, once per turn, when this Digimon's Digievolution card increases by effect, Digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon. Oh, so this is interesting. So you can trigger his effect to add a X Antibody under him, and then that also then triggers his once per turn effect, because it's not when another Digimon does it. It's when this Digimon's Digievolution cards increases. So as long as his increases, even by his own effect, you can do Digivolve 1. This is the Alphamon that I know all the Alphamon decks will be playing is this Alphamon. You could also play the Alphamon from BT6? Yeah, BT6. You could play that Alphamon as well, but I think this is the better Alphamon for the Black X Antibody Tier 1 deck. The Alphamon Tier 1 deck. Now we have Rademon. We've read enough about him, so let's check him out. On play, when Digivolve, place 1 Fujimon, Rademon, and Suijimon from your trash at the bottom of Digimon evolution cards in order. Gain 1 memory for each card. So 3, so you can gain 3 memory. By the way, then yes, this man basically is the Gate Guardian of Digimon. When attacking, if the total colors of level 6 cards in this Digimon's evolution cards is 3 or more, which it is because you have blue, yellow, and green that corresponds to Fujimon being the green, Rademon being the yellow, and Suijimon being the blue. Remember, this Digimon gains 3k DP, becoming 15 until your opponent's next turn ends. If the Digimon has 4 or more, one of your opponent's Digimon de-digivolves 1. Oh, and actually the 4 or more would be the black. So yeah, you will get both of those effects. So this is pretty neat. I like the Gate Guardian aspect of him, but really neat card. I don't know how relevant he is, but I do kind of like the aspect of the effect. Gulemon can Digivolve over a Black War Greymon for 2. This card / Digimon is also treated as having Greymon in its name. It has security attack +1 and reboot. Again, being that it's black has all the reboot. When Digivolving, if this Digimon has a black Digievolution card, one of your opponent's Digimon, de-Digivolve 1. If this card has red in its trait, it gets blitzed. So what this can do is that the black, red, or War Greymon from BT8 can now use this guy to Digivolve for 2 and then give you de-Digivolve 1, Blitz, Security Attack +1, and Reboot. Finally, the last of the 4 sovereigns is here. Bearmont. When Digivolving, unsuspend up to 2 Digimon and or Tamers. Then for each of your opponent's unsuspended Digimon and Tamers, gain 1 memory. That's very interesting. So for a 5 cost, you could unsuspend your opponent's stuff to reduce your own cost. Because it doesn't say your Digimon and Tamers. It is any 2 Digimon and or Tamers, and then just gain that memory. End of your turn, once per turn, for every 2 of your opponent's unsuspended Digimon and or Tamers, trash the top card of the security stack. That's the strength right there, folks. This Sovereign is actually really strong. Funny enough, this actually hurts Yellow Hybrid, like really bad, because they'll have a whole ton worth of Tamers. All right, overall Black, didn't give us a lot of stuff, mind you, not a lot of X Antibody. The X Antibody stuff we've got that we'll be moving over is from BT7 and BT8. What we got here is a new Doramon that's going to go into the deck because of the psych ability of discarding into trash to draw 2, and then this Alphamon. That's about it for the deck. Other than that, I think the Gulemon is great for anyone who wants to continue playing Black War Greymon from BT8, and I think this Tiger Sovereign will be pretty nice as well. So overall, not a big splash that we've seen from the last 2 sets for Black. Gives enough support for a couple of decks to continue from the BT8 format, and excels 1 deck to the Tier 1 for the BT9 format. So we now have Purple, Gazimon, X Antibody. You Digivolve over a Gazimon. When Digivolve, trash 3 cards from the top of your deck. Again, more trashing ability. Again, Purple is going into the era, I think, now of self-milling to get effects. I still don't like the self-mill because Purple, for decks that can play a lot slower and can play defensively, self-milling yourself is not a good idea. Dracmon. On play, reveal 3 cards from the top of your deck, add 1 card with undead or dark animal in its trait to your hand, and trash 1 card with undead or dark animal in its trait. Okay, so you get to add 1 and then trash 1. Return the rest to the bottom of your deck in any order. When attacking, Digimon may Digivolve into a Digimon with undead or dark animal in its trait from your trash while paying its memory cost. So again, being able to look at the top 3, grab an undead or dark animal into your hand, and then trashing one again, push those when trashing effects. And then again, being able to Digivolve when attacking is not a bad effect. I do actually like that. We got a Salamon. On play, reveal the top 4 cards of your deck, add 1 2-color purple card among them to your hand, place the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck in any order. This is another great card for Mastamon, helping you just cycle through the Mastamon deck to help find those 2-color cards you're looking for, especially the 2-color Gatomon card, which is purple, to add your hand so you can dig even further into your deck. We got Senglopumon. When attacking, inheritable, you can Digivolve this Digimon into 1 Digimon card with undead or dark animal and trait from your trash. Oh, from your trash for its Digi-Evolution cost. That's actually really nice there. Did Dracomon from trash? Yes, Dracomon was from trash as well. Okay. These inheritable is actually really nice. Meikumon! I really like her all art, let me tell you, and this is really cute art. Security. End the battle, play this card without paying its memory cost. So it's a security Digimon. On deletion, if this inheritable, if this Digimon has 2 or more colors, gain 2 memory. We have the Dex stuff. The Dex stuff is what is going to support the X Antibody deck. So you can Digi for free over a Toyagumon. When Digivolving, you may trash 1 card with Dex in its name or with X Antibody in its trait to gain 1 memory. Very strong. When Digivolving, the Digimon has Toyagumon in its Digi-Evolution cards or Digivolved from trash. Okay, so either it Digivolved or Digivolved from your trash, apparently. One of your Digimon gains blocker and retaliation at the end of your opponent's turn. So really nice. You could give this guy blocker, which is really nice. We got Crackmon, Vicious Mode. On play, when Digivolving, you may trash 1 card in your hand. If a purple card is trashed this way, delete one of your opponent's level 3 or lower Digimon. Or no, level 3 Digimon. There's nothing lower than level 3. But yeah, I'm not in love with that. If a yellow card is trashed this way, one opponent's Digimon gets minus 3k DP for the turn. So funny enough, you could trash a dual color card and get both effects, as long as it's purple-yellow. On deletion, if Digimon has 2 or more colors, gain 2 memory. That's very interesting. So you can get like 4 memory out of this, because Meikumon triggers for 2, and so does Crackmon. That's pretty interesting. Nonetheless, the on-play when Digivolving effect isn't going to come up very often. Trashing out, maybe. We'll have to see like what the rest of Meikumon's line if you want to trash those effects to get this, but the level 3 deletion isn't great, but I do like at least the minus 3k. I feel that's better for the yellow. Now we move on to Medramon. When attacking, you may trash 1 card with undead or dark animal and trait in your hand to have this Digimon gain plus 3k DP, again working with the Senglopumon and the Dracmon. And then your turn, when this Digimon would Digivolve into a Digimon card from your trash, reduce the Digi-Evolution cost by 1. So really nice. Again, being able to work with Dracmon, Senglopumon, and then also reducing any of the level 6, which I believe is going to be right here, into normally. Well, this one's going to be full cost, so it'll be down to 3. Anyways, we have Dex Doro Goramon. Can Digivolve for 1 over a Doro Goramon. When Digivolving, you may trash 1 card with Dex in its name or X Antibody in its trait in your hand to gain 1 memory. So it does the exact same thing as the Dex Doro Goramon. When Digivolving, if this Digimon has Doro Greymon in its Digi-Evolution card, or when Digivolving from the trash, delete one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon. So the gain 1 memory, I think, is going to come up more often than the level 4, but this can come up. The fact that because Omnimon can Digivolve, this could come up. Anyways, we then have Grand Dracmon. When Digivolving, you may play 1 level 3 purple Digimon card from trash without paying its memory cost. That's really, really strong in my opinion. A lot of purple Digimon, Gazimon, Tapirmon, anything, even the Ipmon, anything that basically could just come out and help you out. End of attack, once per turn, you may Digivolve one of your other Digimon into a Digimon card with undead or dark animal in trait from your trash without paying its memory cost. That's also very strong right there as well. So very interesting level 6. We got Gulemon. On play, may play 1 purple or yellow Digimon card with 6k DP or less for your trash without paying its memory cost, much like what we've seen for a lot of Digimons with the from Mastamon. If your security stack has 1 or fewer cards, you may play 1 level 6 or lower Digimon card with Angel or Fallen Angel in trait from your trash without paying its memory cost instead. So if you're at 1 or fewer cards, so 1 or 0, you can basically play an Angel or Fallen Angel, basically like Mastamon, from your trash. That's really cool. I do like that. Basically, the ability to play from trash is really nice, especially with Mastamon. So this could be a really good card you could throw into Mastamon. End of attack, you may DNA Digivolve this Digimon into one of your other Digimon and play into a Digimon in your hand by paying its DNA Digi-Evolution cost. The Digimon we'll read is right down here. That is the DNA DNA Digimon that will be used. But other than that, really strong card. Really strong card if you wanted to mix that into Mastamon. Now we have Dex Doro Goramon, basically the Doro Goramon Dex version. So it can Digivolve for 2 over a Doro Goramon. When Digivolving, a Digimon has Doro Goramon in its Digivolution cards, or when Digivolving from the trash, delete all your opponent's Digimon with the lowest level. I still think that's very, very strong. Again, if your opponent's only on level 6s, even level 5s, it just removes a lot of the issues you might find. On the leash, you may play a level 3 purple or black Digimon from your trash without paying its memory costs, like Doramon. If you have 5 or more cards with Dex in their name in your trash, you may instead play one Dexmon from your trash without paying its play cost. Dexmon is the secret rare, the second secret rare in this set with Alphamon Aruken mode, or Aruken mode. So Dexmon is very strong, as we'll read later on, but let me tell you, this card's not going to see a lot of play in the top builds of Alphamon because it's not really played. Now, Dex Doro and Dex Doro Goramon will see a lot of play. But anyways, moving on to the final purple card, we have Rademon, a DNA Digivolve for free over a purple level 6 and yellow level 6. When Digivolving, when DNA Digivolving, delete one of your opponent's level 6 or higher Digimon and all of their level 5 or lower Digimon. For each Digimon delete by this effect, recover 1. And that has no stipulation on it. So this is a very strong effect. You can delete one level 6 or higher, so basically even level 7s, and then basically after that, just to remove all level 5 or lower Digimon. Just remove them all, and then you just get to recover off of all of that. Unless you may trash top card of your security stack to play this card without paying its memory cost. Now again, you can't get the effect because it's a when Digivolving effect. But DNA Digivolving off this Ragluamon, which by the way does have the end of turn, you can DNA Digivolve. So this is why you want to be at one of your security cards, because then you trigger the DNA Digivolve. You can play at the Mastamon and then trigger the DNA Digivolve to go into Ordinamon. So very, very strong card, and I think an evolution for Mastamon if you're looking to play. Purple, there's some good cards out of purple. The Dex line is really nice. There are a lot of cards that can go into Mastamon to support the Mastamon deck. And mentioning the Undead or Dark Animal is pretty neat as well. Overall, purple is actually pretty good. I actually like a lot of the cards in here. I don't know if like the Mekumon line is going to push Mastamon to be, top dog of the format, probably not, but it does push it into the new format to give it a little more. And the deck stuff is very, very strong, especially if you're playing an X Antibody deck and you don't want to forward into the Alphamons, then the Dex Doro is not bad. Now we move into the one and only white card, Omnimon Merciful Mode. This can Digivolve for 3 if it contains Omnimon. When Digivolve, delete one of your opponent's Digimon for each card with Mega in its trait and this Digimon's Digievolution cards, which will be the level 6 and the Omnimon. Then return 10 cards in your opponent's trash to the bottom of their deck in any order. And then start of your turn, trash the top card of this Digimon. If you did, trash the top card of your opponent's security stack. So I'm guessing that you can trash Merciful Mode back down to the Omnimon to basically then trash the top card of your opponent's security stack. Overall, very, very neat card. I don't know how relevant Omnimon Merciful Mode is going to be for the meta. Now let's move into our Tamers. We have Tai and Kari. Start your turn. If you have 3 or fewer security cards, gain 1 memory. Congratulations if you're a yellow hybrid deck. Now you have, if you're 3 or fewer security cards with TK and Kari, gain 2 memory. Then you can gain a memory from this. If your opponent's at 3 or fewer security cards, gain 1 memory. You can gain a memory if your opponent's at 3 or fewer. You can gain a memory if you're at 3 or fewer. Then you add that on to your memory tamer, which already puts you to 3. And then if you add it on to TK Kari's, then which is if you're lower than your opponent, you gain 2 memory. Congratulations, yellow hybrid can even gain yet more memory. And by the way, all the tamers, unless otherwise specified, all have the same security deck. Play this card without paying its memory cost. Your turn. When your red or yellow Digimon attacks, you may spend this tamer to give security Digimon -2 KDP. We have Matt and Sora to start the main phase. By the way, I think that was starting the main phase as well. No, start of your turn. Okay, so start of your turn, start of your main. If you have 8 or more cards in your hand, gain 1 memory. Your opponent has 8 or more cards in your hand, gain 1 memory. That's not going to come up a lot, sadly. I doubt there's actually a few times if I've ever had more than maybe like 7 to 6 cards in my hand at any one point in time. Unless I'm playing a deck that's drawing a chuck ton worth. But this card will see a little more play probably when we get to BT10 because of Shoutmon. Because Shoutmon is about digging and drawing and seeing cards into your hand. This will be a little more relevant then for at least your opponent's hand gaining the 1 memory. Your turn. When one of your blue or red Digimon becomes unsuspended, you may spend this tamer to return one of your opponent's level 3 Digimon to its own hand. Not very great. The memory gain is really all that I like about this tamer, but that's very niche. Again, this tamer really only works if you know you can get a big enough hand, or at least keep 8 or more cards in your hand at all times, and that's really about it. You'll at least gain a memory. Maybe you fight your opponent and they have 8 or more cards. Sure, it helps, but I'm not sold. Kiyoshiri, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that last name. He's a memory tamer. Your turn, when you attack with a Digimon with Jellymon, that's either be Tesla Jellymon or Jellymon in its name, or a level 5 or higher. If you have 7 or less cards in your hand, you may spend this tamer to draw 1 card. That's nice. I actually like that. This is a good, just generic, because it's a memory tamer and generic. The fact is that swing a level 5 or higher. It's really nice that it's just also this level 5 or higher, giving you that ability to tap it to draw another card. Cycling in Digimon is very important, so I do quite enjoy that. I don't know how many decks are going to play it, but I like it. TK and Izzy. At start of your main, if you have a level 5 or higher Digimon, gain 1 memory. If your opponent has a level 5 or higher Digimon, gain 1 memory. This feels a lot better overall, because the fact is you know your opponent's at least going to have a level 5 or higher. If you have level 5 or higher as well, that's really nice as well. One of your yellow or green Digimon Digivolves, you may suspend this tamer to have one of your opponent's Digimon get -1 gate DP till the end of your opponent's turn. Really nice for yellow, but like I said, I think yellow hybrid might play maybe a 1 of this, because you'll be at level 5 or higher to gain that extra memory, but I think yellow hybrid's going to play more Tai and Kari for the Tai Kari effect. Not mentioning Tai Kari, I think, has a better chance of getting you that 2 memory. Then we have Mimi and Joe. Start your turn, if you have a suspended Digimon, gain 1 memory, which is really nice, because at this literally at the start of your turn, you just gain that memory, because you aren't at the unsuspend phase just yet. Your opponent has suspended Digimon, which they probably will, gain a memory. This tamer, without a doubt, will always be giving you that 2 memory, because at the start of your turn, you'll gain 1 for your own suspended, and then you'll gain 1 for your opponent's suspended. All turns, when your green or blue Digimon deletes an opponent's Digimon in battle and survives, you may suspend this tamer to draw 1 card. So you could put this in the Grand Toyagumon deck to gain that extra 2 memory for having your opponent have a suspended Digimon and you have a suspended Digimon. Then you have Daigo Nichijima. When an opponent's Digimon becomes unsuspended in a main phase, this is all turns, you may spend this tamer to gain 1 memory. Your turn, when one of your Digimon digivolves into a black level 6 Digimon, it gains blocker, which is very nice until the end of your opponent's turn. I do actually like that more. Again, turning a lot of your level 6 Digimon, which are a lot stronger, into blocker. So overall, not a bad tamer, but probably not going to see a lot of play, if any at all. Aki Himikawa. On play, reveal top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 Tapirmon and 1 2-colored card with black among them to your hand. Return the remaining cards to the bottom of your deck. This is really nice to go with Rademon to search out the Rademon pieces that you need. Your turn, when your Digimon digivolves into a Digimon that has 2 or more colors, including black, you may spend this tamer to reduce the memory cost of the Digi-Evolution by 1. Again, really nice to go with all Suijimon, Regimon, and of course, Funjimon. So really nice effect if you want to go that. We got Ekko Mochizuki. Play, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 purple or yellow Digimon card among them to your hand, trash remaining cards. Again, really nice being able to cycle your deck and find what you need. Alternate, play a 2 color purple and yellow Digimon, you might spend this tamer to gain a memory. So it's on play effects. So you could play like Meikumon, Crackmon. It's going to go into Mastamon to help the line. And now you have Mr. Cool Boy. On play, reveal 3 cards at the top of your deck. Add 1 Digimon with X Antibody's trait and 1 option card with the X Antibody. We'll see a few X Antibody cards here. Most are like white. Just straight to your hand. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck in any order. Your turn. When one of your Digimon digivolves into a Digimon with the same level with X Antibody and trait, you may spend this tamer to gain 1 memory and draw 1 card. This is very strong. That's your turn that triggers any time that happens. Oh no, you may spend. Okay, so it's a suspend. But it is really nice to gain a memory and draw a card. Overall, the tamers aren't bad. I like a few of them. I like the Tai Kari, I like the TK Izzy, and I like Mimi. Joe. Meiku is really good for any purple, yellow, dual color. Cool Boy, exclusively just amazing for X Antibody. Daigo and Maki are okay. Matt and Sora are very niche to their effects, and I don't like their suspension effect either. And then Kiyoshiro, who is Jellymon's tamer in Ghost Game, that's not bad either. I like that he's a memory tamer, and also if you just swing with level 5, suspend him to draw a card. Anyways, that is it for all of the tamers. So next up, second to last here, we have the one and only option cards. Let's read them. We have Flare Rock Soul. Main, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 5k DP or less. Then one of your Digimon may Digivolve into a Digimon card with Shoutmon in its name in your hand for its Digi-Evolution cost. Not bad. You could combo just the first effect with, I believe the Greymon and Gulemon, the Gulemon line, because of the Gulemon line's ability to increase DP destruction effects, because it doesn't say anytime that triggers, it doesn't say on a Digimon, it's anytime those effects would trigger, you can increase the DP threshold on it, but the Shoutmon's pretty nice too. And then security delete one of your opponent's Digimon 5k DP or less. If you don't have that ability, I don't think this is very good. It might be better when we move up into, I don't even think this would be even good in Shoutmon and when we reach into BT10. Atomic Megalo Blaster. Main, choose any number of your opponent's Digimon whose total DP adds up to 10k or less and delete them. And again, combo this with the Gulemon, Greymon, the Gulemon line, I should say again. This will just delete a lot of stuff. This almost nearly deletes a Mega. Just a one-shot Mega off the board. But anyway, security, activate the main effect. Gaia Force 0. When this card would be used, if you have a Digimon with X Antibody and Digi-Evolution cards, reduce the memory cost of this card by 2. So it becomes a 6 cost card instead of an 8 cost card. Main, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 13k DP or less, then one of your Digimon Greymon, its name may attack a player. Oh, wow, that's actually really nice. I like the ability to delete, and then I like the, so it's Gaia Force. Gaia Force with a restriction on DP, so it can kill a good assortment of Megas. And then you can basically just attack with a Greymon. With any Digimon Greymon in its name, may attack a player. And then security, it's just Gaia Force. Now we have Baby Thunder. Main, return one of your opponent's level 4 Digimon to its owner's hand. If you have Digimon play with Jellymon in its name or with Jellymon in its Digi-Evolution card, turning one of your opponent's Tamers to its owner's hand. Okay, so it's not bad per se. I wish it was not level 4. Again, most people aren't going to sit on level 4s. Most of the time, they're going to Digivolve them up to level 5s. And, you know, blockers, you can send those back. Again, this helps if we hit a heavy blocker era format. We might hit because of Alphamon, but I'm not exactly sure. I'm pretty sure probably with now, even Grandest Toyagumon, you're not going to do a blocker because the fact is it's going to get piercing with the Toyagumon. Blockers really aren't going to be useful. The returning Tamers is pretty neat. If you can return one of your opponents, like put them at 1 by returning their Memory Tamer, then they have to force to play that Memory Tamer again. I don't think you want to return many good Memory Tamers like TKs. You definitely don't want to return a TK to your opponent's hand and then have them play the TK again so they can search their security and grab a yellow card. But, I don't think I see much use for this card as of right now. Security, activate this card's main. But still neat. I still think spinning back Tamers is pretty cool. Now we have Metal Storm. When you use this card, you may reduce its if you have X Antibody in its Digi-Evolution card, reduce the card by 2. So it doesn't ignore the color requirements. You still have to have a blue Digimon, much like Gaia Force 0 has to have a red Digimon. But it does become 5 cost. Main, return one of your opponent's level 6 or lower Digimon to their hand, then unsuspend one of your Digimon with Gurumon's name. I love that. For 5 cost in blue, which has the ability to gain a lot of memory, that's very strong to spin back a level 6, removing all those sources, removing the issue it is. Now, the problem is it can't remove level 7s because they're level 7s, but if your opponent hasn't gone up to level 6 yet, or hasn't gone to level 7 yet, or their deck doesn't have a level 7, that's very strong. I really like that. And not mentioning that you could just unsuspend any Garurumon to swing again. So you could even do the Garurumon that can rip stuff out of your Digi-Evolution sources, especially if you Digivolve it over like a Shikuamon, the DNA Digivolve. Then yeah, that's really cool. Awakening of the Gold Digizord. If you have a Digimon with Armor trait, you may ignore this color's requirements. So again, this is great for the Armor Perch deck. Activate the main was Metal Storm's security effect. Main, one of your Digimon with armor form in its trait may Digivolve into a Digimon card with Magnamon in its name in your hand, ignoring its Digi-Evolution requirements without paying its memory cost. Okay. The Digimon Digivolved with this effect can have its DP reduced by opponent's card effects until the next time your opponent turn ends. Alright, and then security, return one card with Magnamon in its name from your trash to your hand and add this card to your hand. That's very strong too. So if I'm reading this card correct, it sounds like anybody with armor form, Flamedramon, Flamedramon, Lydramon, because it's not Raydramon, any of the armors where like Magnamon X Antibody, just slap it down on the armor form, pretending that's Magnamon. Heck, even you could just slap a normal Magnamon on it, and then Digivolve that Magnamon into Magnamon X. Sunrise Blaster is a new card for Yellow Hybrid, and like I said, for the red-yellow hybrid build, this is a must-have. Main, you may play one red or yellow Tamer card from your hand without paying its memory cost, then one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 3k DP for each red or yellow Tamer you have in play for the turn, and then you activate its main. Folks, yellow hybrid's not going anywhere. This proves yellow hybrid is going to stay in the BT9 meta and still going to contend for the top spot in the BT9 meta. Sunrise Blaster, Tai, and Kari are going to push it, not mentioning the promo Gulemon and the Digimon from EX Collection 2. So this just proves the power of yellow hybrid. And again, yellow hybrid's always been about adapting currently, as we know from the BT10 format, as well as adapting to the BT10 format in Japan. But very, very strong card. Respect that card. I've seen a lot of decks use it to kill Dexmon, but very, very strong card. Again, you need yellow and red to use it. Grandis Scissor. Main, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, then unsuspend one of your Digimon with a sectoid in its trait. That Digimon may attack your opponent's Digimon. Securities, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon or tame. Really neat, but in the Grandis, any option cards are going to be stuff to get you up into your Grandis. It's okay, but probably for other insectoid decks it would be a little better than putting it into Grandis, which Grandis is going to be the only insectoid deck that really is going to make a splash. Next up, we have Ground Fang. Main, return one of your opponent's suspended Digimon, one of your opponent's suspended Tamer to the bottom of their owner's deck. I do like that. It's a little steep of a cost at 8, and then Security, activate this card's main effect. If you could see this in Security, I'd give it a better pass, but seeing it in hand, 8 costs is a lot just for what it does. But still, even sitting like level 6 in a Tamer to the bottom of your opponent's deck is not bad at all. Now we move on to the black options. We have Heavy Machine Digimon's Advance. That's a mouthful. Main, you may trash one card with Cyborg Machine and its trait from your hand to have all your level 6 Digimon with Machine and their traits gain your Rush. Wow, you could just turn all your machines in hand into Rusher. That's neat. And on play, if this Digimon has Digi Evolution card, Blitz as well. For nothing? Wow, okay, so you could just basically turn all your machines into Rush and Blitz. Security, you may trash one card with Cyborg Machine and its trait in your hand, then delete one of your opponent's Digimon. The play cost less than or equal to the trash card's play cost. Okay, I actually like that too, especially if you trash a Cyborg or Machine to delete basically a high cost Digimon on your opponent's side of the field. That's actually a pretty neat card. Not gonna lie, that's a really neat card. Kongo! Now this is a very strong black card that X Antibody is gonna play a lot of. So the next time your opponent turn ends, your opponent's Digimon with a play cost 7 less can't attack players. Cards can be added to either player's security stack by your opponent's deck. This is a very strong card, and its security effect is very strong as well. This is a staple option card for X Antibody. So do make sure you get your playset of this card. Very, very strong. X Evolution. If you have a Digimon with X Antibody's trait in play, you may use this card without meeting color requirements, so any deck with X Antibody playing in it can use this card. Reveal 3 cards on top of your deck. One of your Digimon may digivolve into a card with X Antibody and its trait among them without paying its memory cost. There's not many cards in this set that can really say that it's well worth to pay 3 memory to hit a 0 Digivolving X Antibody Digimon. Trash the remaining cards and place 1 card with X Antibody and its trait from your trash under one of your Digimon with X Antibody's trait at its bottom Digi Evolution cards. Security, reveal 3 cards at the top of your deck, add 1 card with X Antibody's trait among them to your hand, trash the remaining cards. So this is not bad. It's not great either. Maybe for other decks that needs to kind of like want to reveal and then digivolve for free, like Greymon X Antibody or War Greymon X Antibody or any other X Antibodies, then sure. I don't know if I want to pay 3 and then like digivolve into like an Alphamon or anything like that. Sure, it does spark a lot of the black X Antibody Digimon, but not really great overall. But I could see it being used like for the other decks because again, as long as you have a Digimon with X Antibody and its trait, you can ignore the color requirement of black. Digitalize of Soul. Reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Delete one of your opponent's Digimon with a play cost less than or equal to the play cost of 1 Digimon card with X Antibody and its traits among them. Trash the reveal of the cards. Then place 1 card with X Antibody and its trait from the trash under one of your Digimon and with X Antibody and its trait as bottom Digi Evolution card. Activate this card's main. Digitalize of Soul is neat, but to really make it worth it, it's got to go in the it's really got to go into, of course, Alphamon. And with Alphamon already taking so much from the original X Antibody stuff, so much of BT8's X Antibody stuff, and we're adding in the new stuff here with the new Alphamon, the Dex stuff, the Cool Boys, the Aruka mode. You're going to be putting in probably 3 of the black memory boost. You really don't have a lot of room to put this soul card in there. Not mentioning you're going to put X Antibody in there as well. There are, I believe, some decks that might use X Antibody as well as another card. It's neat and all, but you kind of hope that you hit a high X Antibody monster to really make it worth your while. I find it being okay. I'm sure some people will find a way to use this somewhere. But I mean, if you don't want to play the X Antibody decks that's like tier 1, this is not a bad card to play. It's a good way to trash some stuff, put some more stuff under your X Antibody guys, and still has the ability to at least maybe delete something. Now we have Dex Lucian. If you have a Digimon with X Antibody in its trait, you may use this card without meeting its color requirements. So this is a really nice. It's a purple card, but you can ignore it completely. By the way, this is an X Antibody card where we read a few like Cool Boy that grabs an X Antibody option card. This is X Antibody right there, so you can grab this off the Cool Boy. Main, one of your Digimon can Digivolve into Digimon from your trash with Dex in its name by paying its memory cost. So this is just the way where we read about all the Dexes up here saying that if they Digivolve from trash, they get these effects. So that's just how it's working. I don't think it's gonna make a big impact in the meta, but still neat. Metal Impulse. Trash up to 3 cards in your hand. For each card trashed by this effect, de-Digivolve 1. That's pretty cool. So you could trash 3 cards. For each card trashed by this effect, you de-Digivolve 1 of your opponent's Digimon. Then delete one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon. So that's really actually neat. So you trash 3 cards. Your opponent's at level 6. They go down to a level 3, and then you could delete something that's level 4 or lower. It's really neat. Security effect, you trigger the main source. His security effect is that you add Dex Lucian is add this card to the hand, you trigger this main effect. This is not bad. Being able to trash 3 cards and then to for each card trash, Digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon. That's actually not bad. Then we have the Eye of the Gorgon. Main, delete one of your opponent's unsuspended Digimon. That's really nice for 8 costs, so just anything unsuspended just gets deleted. If a Digimon is deleted this way, you may play 1 purple level 3 Digimon card for your trash without paying its memory cost, doesn't matter what it is, which is really nice. That Digimon cannot activate their on-play skills. So as long as you play something that doesn't have on-play skills, that's pretty nice. Just delete an unsuspended Digimon is really nice, especially if your opponent just Digivolves up a line and ends on a level 6. You can swing in, do all the stuff, then play this for 8, pop it, then play a level 3. Not a bad card there. X Antibody, another X Antibody option card. If you have a Digimon in play, you may use this card in your hand ignoring its color requirements. So as long as you have a Digimon in play, you can basically use this. Every deck can use this. Security. And gain 1 memory and add this card to your hand. All right. So basically, because it has an inherited effect, by the way. Main, place this card at the bottom Digi-Evolution card of one of your Digimon without X Antibody in its Digi-Evolution card. So as long as the Digimon starts off, does not have any Digi-Evolution cards under it or any sources under it, and none of them are X Antibody, you can basically put this under it. What it does, all turns X Antibody can't be trashed from the opponent's Digi-Evolution cards by card effects. So basically, blue, anything blue can do cannot hurt this. When attacking, you may Digivolve this Digimon into a Digimon in your hand with X Antibody in its trait by paying its Digi-Evolution cost. Overall, the inherited effects are what's very strong. X Antibody can't be trashed from the Digimon's Digi-Evolution card by card effects, so you can't trash any X Antibody stuff, meaning you'll still have all the X Antibody inheritables, but blue can still trash anything that, is an X Antibody. And then when attacking, you may Digivolve this Digimon into a Digimon in your hand with X Antibody's trait by paying its Digi-Evolution cost. I like that as well. This is a very strong card. I've seen a lot of decks, start with this. If they have in hand, they'll put it under anyone who, doesn't have X Antibody on their Digi-Evolution source just yet. A lot of time that is, of course, the Alphamon line as well. Putting this before you even Digivolve into any of your major, X Antibodies. X Program. If you have a Digimon with Dex in its name, you may use this option card without meeting its color requirement. So as long as you have anyone that Dex is out. Main. Delete 1 Digimon without X Antibody's trait. If both players have 3 or more Digimon in play in total, delete all Digimon without X Antibody's trait instead. So this is a very niche card, and secure delete 1 Digimon without X Antibody. It's neat. I wouldn't call it the greatest thing. I do like if you both have 3 Digimon each, you just delete everything on the field that ain't X Antibody. So there's the options. A lot of the option cards are really strong, really great. A lot of them we're going to see a lot of play. Congo is definitely going to see a lot of play. I could see Sunrise Blaster is going to see a lot of play. X Antibody is going to see a lot of play. But other than that, the other cards are really going to matter on your deck strategy, the meta, and how you want to build it. So finally, last but not least, the 2 secret rares of this set. Alphamon Aruken. So you can Digivolve for 3 from Alphamon with Aruken and its Digi-Evolution cards as the other level 6 you'll be playing, but most of the time you're just going to slop that under it as one of your Digi-Evolution sources. Alphamon is going to be your main level 6. When Digivolve, delete all your opponent's Digimon with the highest play cost. Really strong there. End of your turn. Once per turn, you may return up to 7 non-Digi-Egg cards with X Antibody in their traits with this Digimon's Digi-Evolution cards to the bottom of their owner's deck in order to gain 1 memory for each card returned. So basically, you slap this man down for 3. Heck, you can even slap him down for 7 and then just slop 7 dudes out. Hey, look, he just went for free. There's a reason why the deck uses the Dex line, because to go up up that chain so that you can get those 7 cards in it. But the other card that let's talk about is Dexmon. This is a card I'm going to tell you right now, you need to get a playset of. This card is going to be very strong and very relevant for the BT10 meta, probably the BT11 meta, who knows, maybe relevant for forever. When you would play this card, reduce the play cost by 3 for each of your opponent's Digimon and Tamers in play. Again, very strong on play when Digivolving. De-Digivolve all of your opponent's Digimon. Very strong. Then delete all your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon. Even stronger. And end of opponent's turn, once per turn, delete all your opponent's Digimon with the lowest play cost. Folks, if there is one secret rare that you're going to get out of this set, you need to get a playset of Dexmon. I do not see Dexmon anytime really falling out. If your opponent's going to go wide boards, slap a Dexmon down. Your opponent's playing a heavy Tamer account, like a hybrid deck, slap Dexmon. Dexmon actually is going to be very strong when we even get to BT10, because BT10 is about Shoutmon being the meta. Shoutmon plays a ton worth of Tamers, so he is basically going to be able to reduce his cost to free. Now, mentioning Yellow Hybrid still very relevant in BT10. Yellow Hybrid is going to be relevant for BT9. Now, who knows? Maybe in the BT11, BT12 meta, Dexmon becomes a little irrelevant. But from BT9 through BT10, he's a very strong, competent card that I recommend you get. Otherwise, I think you're going to struggle a little bit in the meta because this card is so going to be meta relevant. A lot of decks are going to throw him into them to deal with a lot of matchups. If you're going to pick anything up from this set, at least secret rare wise, if you're not going to go into the Alphamon, Dexmon is a great option. The secret rares are both amazing, both very strong, both have amazing alt arts. But that is the set. Do let me know down in the comments, what are you excited for in BT9? Alphamon, other X Antibodies. What do you think is going to become the best deck of the format? Again, check out the channel. I'm going to have my tier list of what the best decks for the meta will be. But with that, I'm going to say goodbye.